You guys, what's going on? Um, yeah. So what's next for Ryan Garcia after being stopped by Tank Davis? Is it the end of the world for Ryan Garcia? No, absolutely not. But based off the analysis of what a lot of people thought in Ryan Garcia's performance, he is not even remotely close to being a elite fighter. He seemed to be a solid fighter that has the potential to be a great fighter, but he's gonna have to work on some things, mainly his defense. Uh, Ryan Garcia, he just need to part ways with Gusum immediately. Gusum is a good trainer, but for the type of fighter Ryan Garcia wants to be, if he's truly about being a elite and great fighter, Dan Goosen isn't that guy. Dan Goosen is the type of trainer, he can, get you to certain levels, but can he make you like a pound per pound fighter? Because he doesn't really teach you defense. And Ryan Garcia has no defense. Uh, he's reckless. And you saw last night um, a lot of his flaws exposed. It was one of them situations where he was going to have a couple of good moments with Tank, but you eventually knew what was gonna happen. Like I said, I thought Ryan Garcia was gonna make it at least to maybe 9 rounds, but Tank got him out of there in 7. And clearly, a lot of people believe Ryan Garcia just quit. He didn't want to fight anymore, and basically, even though he got that extremely slow count by Thomas Taylor. Thomas Taylor was trying to give him a chance to, get up and fight. In which Thomas Taylor shouldn't have gave Ryan Garcia that extremely slow count. You know, because he was doing a 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like, bro. I mean, like, bro, come on, man. I knew he didn't want to get up. So, I mean, that count was like extreme. He gave, it was actually like maybe a 25-second count that he tried to make like a 10-second count. And it was bad. It was bad. It, hey, you know what's so funny, Logic? Thomas Taylor is really a California referee too. That's what makes it so funny. He really is out of California, but I guess they let him work the Las Vegas fight, because I know referees. I know you have to get, I think, certain type of certification to referee in another state. But Thomas Taylor is really out of California. He does all the big fights, him and Jack Reese in California. So I was kind of shocked when I saw he was the referee for the main event. I was like, okay. And usually Thomas Taylor do a good job, but man, that extremely slow count that he gave Ryan Garcia, it just I was like, bro, he don't want to get up, and he don't want to get up anymore. Devin versus Tank, I can't say. I can't say. So I can't say. I'll just put it to you this way. It'll be a good fight. It'll be a good fight. Devin versus Shakur versus Tank, Shakur versus um Devin Haney. Those guys, they got to fight each other. And I don't think Ryan Garcia is done. He's just gonna have to go a different direction as far as his training go. He's gonna have to. I mean, even with his hook, he cocks back real far, like on an action, like he doing an action picture. Because you know how some of those action pictures, when the dude throwing a punch, he cocks back real far, like, and And if you really got alertness, you can duck. You'll duck. You won't hit me with a punch like that. Because I'm telling you right now, if I see you cocking back like that, I already know you finna swing. So basically, I'm going to get out the way. Or I'm going to basically defend myself. But I saw and told everybody about the flaws. Listen. Everybody knows that follow my channel. I do not like make videos saying who's gonna win the fight, but I would have bet everything I own last night on Tank because I was that confident Tank was gonna win that fight. I saw Ryan Garcia way too many times, and he didn't make any corrections on his flaws. He was one of them dudes. And remember, I said about 2.5 years ago, I thought that Ryan Garcia was the second coming of Amir Khan. I mean, when he got let me explain something to you. When Ryan Garcia tasted the canvas early in the fight, I don't remember whether it was the second or first round, but I think it was the second round. But when he got put on his ass in the second round, you clearly see his confidence was shaking. It was like, okay, Ryan knew what was going to happen. Ryan's confidence was gone when he got dropped in the second round early. So you kind of knew, okay, it's just a matter of time. The inevitable was coming. Tank is going to finish him. And Tank and Tank, one thing I like about Tank, people do not give Tank enough credit about his boxing IQ. He don't get enough credit for his boxing IQ. Tank is a really smart fighter. Him, Terrence Crawford, those guys are really smart fighters. David Benavidez, they're really, good fighters. Arthur Beterbiev, those guys are good fighters. They have good ring IQ. They know how to make adjustments. And Tank did get buzzed, but I don't think he was hurt. It's a difference between getting buzzed and then hurt. Tank got buzzed a little bit. He got caught with a couple of hard shots in the second. It shook him up, but do I think he was on the verge of, getting dropped? Nah. What Tank did is he grabbed Ryan Garcia. He clinched to basically he got his scruples back. Now, from a fan perspective, some people don't like that, but clinching and holding is legal in a fight as long as you don't do it excessively. And if you do it excessively or continue to do it throughout a fight, then the referee has the right to get involved, and he does up to have the right to take away points for excessive holding. It never got to the point to where it was excessive holding. Really, after Tank got it back together, he started, breaking Ryan Garcia down with those vicious body shots, jabs to the body. I was like, man, those hooks is going to pay big dividends later on in the fight. And Tank was like, okay, he's a taller fighter. Okay, I don't want to stand in the way and get caught with those counters. So what I'm gonna do is work my way on the inside. And then Tank was tricking Ryan Garcia with the feints when it was looking like he was gonna go up. And then another thing I like, Tank was listening to his corner when he was saying go upstairs, downstairs. But Tank stayed mostly downstairs, racking Ryan Garcia to the body with hooks to the body and then jabs to the to the lower body, and it broke Ryan Garcia down to where Tank got on the inside and he landed that shot, and it dropped Ryan Garcia. And Ryan Garcia was like, all right, enough of this. I'm done. I don't want it. Well, I thought Tank did a good job listening to his corner. He was focused. But after Tank's performance, I do think Tank is a serious pound for pound fighter. He proved it. Yes, it was Ryan Garcia, but the way he handled Ryan Garcia, that put him in a discussion. After all, like I said before, you can't sit up here and complain about who Tank Davis is fighting when, like I said, Triple G fought like, basically every truck driver you could think of. He fought every Amazon worker, truck driver, Foot Locker cashier that you could think of, and got tremendous praise for it. So we had the right to do the same with Tank. Now the question is that I'm worried about, pertaining to Tank Davis, is will they be more politics? Okay, listen, if you can make the fight with Golden Boy and find a way, some common ground to do business with the zone and do a joint pay-per-view, do a joint fight, then I don't want to hear no excuses why Tank can't fight Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney. I don't want to hear any more excuses. I don't want to hear that other side of the street stuff no more. Nobody wants to hear that anymore. You know, nobody wants to hear the glass house on 22nd Ave or he live on 227. I live on, nobody wants to hear that anymore. You know, there is a lot of opportunity and money out there for Tank Davis. Will he win all the fights that potentially people want to see him in? Well, that remains to be seen. I'll put it to you this way. Tank is going to be in every fight from this point on because of his power. Tank's power is the equalizer. So he has a chance against everybody if he lands a certain type of punch. His power is real. His power is real. So he has a puncher's chance versus anybody. He's a guy, he could turn the fight around with one punch, one or two punches. But at the end of the day, we want to see how good Tank could be right now. How he'll finish as a fighter. He talked about he may retire in a couple of years. Well, if that's the case, then go out with a bang. Fight the best guys out there. Tank from 130 to 140, maybe even one fight at 147. Tank will be in every fight. It's going to be curiosity with Tank with everybody. And that's just real. Now, who should Tank fight next? More than likely, Tank is probably going to go into a rematch with Isaac Cruz. I got a feeling they're going to run that back, and then he may fight Rolly again, and Rolly may know something that we don't know. Rolly saying that they gonna run it back. He may have been told in advance that, hey, if Rolly is successful, Rolly has a fight coming up. Rolly has a fight coming up in a couple of weeks. Matter of fact, Rolly will be fighting in Las Vegas, if I'm not mistaken, on the 13th of May, which it'll be at the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas. I won't be at that fight because I'll be covering the Genovic fight in Stockton, which Stockton is only like, well, it's not that far from me. I'll just put it that way. So I'll be covering that fight. And then the very next week, I head to Las Vegas to cover Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. But if Rolly is successful in his fight, then, maybe he will run it back. But as I said before, the problem is going to be, you can always push Rolly and Tank back. At the end of the day, we want to start seeing Tank versus these other guys. I don't want to hear no more of this stuff about we're not going to make other promotional companies great and we don't want to do business with this dude because of what happened with me. That's petty and that's childish and it's just plain ignorance. As far as the fanboys go, talking about, well, this company sued that company. Well, here's the thing. Golden Boy sued the PBC, but they made the fight. So I don't want to hear this stuff about, well, Bob Arum sued Al Heyman. I don't want to hear that no more. Do I believe that Tank will fight pretty much anybody? Yeah, I do. At this point, I'm gonna tell you right now, and I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Uh, I know people accuse Tank of abducting Lomachenko. Tank would knock Lomachenko into the middle of next week. I bet you Tank will take that fight right now. Tank would knock Lomachenko. When I say Tank would knock Lomachenko silly, which I thought Tank would beat Lomachenko. I always thought Tank could beat Lomachenko. I thought Tank would have beat Lomachenko if they would have fought 2 years ago. But at the end of the day, his handlers, the people, his handlers was on this thing. Hey, we really don't want to do business with other promotional companies. Like I said, when you pull that kind of stuff, you cheating the fans. And I know a lot of these boxing journalists, and I know a lot of these channels and boxing pundits, aficionados, they be a little timid to ask some of these people in boxing for questions because they worried about being cut off and all that kind of stuff. Well, here's the thing. If you a promoter and you cut a reporter off for doing his job and asking you a tough question, then you proving his point and then you the problem. Ain't nothing wrong with asking somebody some firm questions and just ask them real questions instead of the basics and stuff. Anybody that knows me, I don't have a problem asking the tough questions. And to a certain degree, I paid a stiff price for it because some of these dudes don't like to talk to me. They blow me off sometimes, but that's okay. But then there's a lot of fighters that love talking to me, that go out of their way to talk to me. So, it is what it is what it is. But, you can't be timid to ask the tough questions because you got to start saying, you got to go to the Bob Arums, to Eddie Hearn, and well, you can't get in, you can't talk to Al Heyman because Al Heyman doesn't make himself available to the media. You got to talk to his people. But you got to start asking those questions like, hey, man, what's it going to take to get these fights made? Like I said before, hopefully I can get an interview with Bob Arum in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to try to get a one-on-one with him. I'm going to try to get to the facility early and see can I get a one-on-one with Bob Arum. If I don't catch Bob Arum at the Stockton card, I'm gonna go out of my way to try to find Bob Arum for the Shakur Stevenson. And then if I can't catch it, excuse me, not Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney. If I can't catch him at Devin Haney, then I will try in New York for the Teofimo Josh Taylor fight. But eventually I'm gonna have to ask Bob Arum and ask a lot of these people, these promoters, ask these fighters, like, hey, can we get rid of the politics? This has went on long enough. We don't want to hear about promotional companies anymore. Other side of the streets. We don't want to hear about roadblocks anymore. We want fights. We want the best fighting the best. And it's no shame in losing. People consider Mike Tyson an all-time great. Mike Tyson lost fights. People consider Sugar Ray Leonard an all-time great. Sugar Ray Leonard lost fights. Thomas Hearns is considered an all-time great. He lost fights. Manny Pacquiao considered an all-time great. He lost fights. And he got put to sleep in one of his fights. So it's not the end of you if you lose a fight. Gabriel Rosado got 16 or 17 losses and he still get fights. So, he has double-digit losses. He still get fights. If the best fighters are all fighting each other, there's going to be a loss or two. But that's what boxing was all about. These guys getting in the ring, fighting each other. But everybody is trying to be Floyd Mayweather or Andre Ward. Floyd Mayweather and Andre Ward were standout fighters. Now, yeah, did Floyd fight everybody? Did he fight everybody that we think he should have fought? Absolutely not. But did he fight great competition? Of course he did. Do I like the fact that Floyd went on a tour of primarily Hispanic fighters and not giving a brother an opportunity or a payday? Nah, I don't like that, and I'm not ever going to forget that. And that's what I don't want to happen with Tank. I don't want to see Tank going on. I don't want to see Tank going on just a Hispanic and Mexican tour. Tank got to fight some brothers, whether we like it or not. And don't come on here talking about, hey, let's not make this about race, because come on. I mean, if Canelo could say he don't want to specifically really fight Mexican fighters, you can't sit up here and tell me, hey, don't make this a race thing, because at the end of the day, I can say whatever the hell I want to say. If you don't like it, you get the hell off my channel. Yeah. So that's my thing. That's my thing. I just want to see these fights get made, because as fans, consumers, the people that's paying the money to see these fights, we want to get our bang for buck. We want to get, if we gonna give 84 to $90, which I can make an argument that I'm gonna be honest with you, that fight wasn't worth no $85. I'm just keeping it a buck. No knock on Tank. Come on, Tank. Please don't get mad at me if you see this video or when you see the video. Just keeping it a buck. At the end of the day, Devin Haney versus Lomachenko is going to be around $60. So I'm just saying that fight was like $85. I mean, that fight was almost $100. Now, I don't know what it sold. I'm pretty sure we'll get the numbers in a couple of days. We'll never get what the real numbers is. Whatever the actual numbers is, they're going to probably add a couple of 100,000, or maybe add an extra 100,000 to the actual pay-per-view buys, and they're going to say, well, Tank is I already know what's coming. But I do think this fight did very well, because I had casual people asking me about the fight, saying, well, who do you think gonna win the fight? And like I said before, I said I have Tank Davis winning that fight by brutal knockout. Well, he got a knockout. It was a hard body shot. And like I said before, Ryan, he felt it. He didn't want to fight no more, just like Fundora. I know I was talking to Goodfella Sports TV. He don't believe that Fundora quit. I do. I thought Fundora quit because Fundora was listening to the referee say 10, and then as soon as the referee say 10, he started talking. He quit. He just didn't want more. But Ryan Garcia, in closing this video, Ryan Garcia is talking about he's going to go up to 140. Like I said before, the excuses is coming. You didn't heard everything from the fight was fixed to, Ryan Garcia wasn't ready for Tank. Because like I said, the wrong guy won. The dude with the melanin won. So now everybody making excuses. Now Ryan Garcia says that he's going to try his hand at 140. There's some good fights for Ryan Garcia at 140. Ryan Garcia, Regis is an option. Dangerous fight for Ryan Garcia based off the fact that he's defensively irresponsible. There's Jose Ramirez. I'm gonna be honest with you. Jose Ramirez, that's my guy though. Jose Ramirez, he deserve a big payday, man. And I think Ryan Garcia would lead to a big payday. I don't know how much he gets a fight or whatever the case may be, but I'm just saying Ryan Garcia versus Jose Ramirez, that'll lead to a big payday. I can tell you right now, I've covered at least 4 or 5 of Jose Ramirez fights in Fresno. And whenever Jose Ramirez fights in Fresno, He can get 12, he get 12, 13,000 people to come see him fight. If Ryan Garcia was willing to get on the road and go to Fresno, I mean, Ryan Garcia is Mexican, Jose Ramirez is Mexican. I mean, 2 + 2 = 4. You know, they'll sell out the Save Mark Center. I'm telling you right now, Ryan Garcia and Jose Ramirez, they'll sell out, they'll sell out the Save Mark Center, which the Save Mark Center at capacity could hold around 16,000, I think. So that's about the same amount as the MGM Grand. Now, it isn't as glamorous, of course, as Las Vegas and all that kind of stuff. And maybe they could get Jose Ramirez to get on the road and fight Ryan Garcia in Los Angeles. Ryan Garcia is from the Los Angeles area. He from Victorville. Victorville is, if I'm not mistaken, Victorville is over there by Lancaster, which Lancaster ain't technically, it ain't technically LA. It's not too far from LA. It's about maybe 45 minutes from LA. But they like to, clump all them cities together and like call it LA and stuff. But Ryan Garcia is from Victorville. But Victorville, if I'm not mistaken, is close to Lancaster. So I'm looking at the options. If he goes up to 140, like I said, Ryan Garcia versus Jose Ramirez would do some good numbers. If they don't want to go to Las Vegas, they could do the fight at the Staples Center, and that fight will sell out. Real talk. They easily could get 17, 18,000 at the Staples Center. At the crypto.com arena, or they call it the Crypt now. Cuz, what up, cuz? So then also there's Teofimo Lopez. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know Josh Taylor didn't look that good versus Jack Catterall, which Jack Catterall, that's a option for Ryan Garcia. But once again, that's another that's a high risk fight for Ryan Garcia. Josh Taylor, that would be a difficult fight for Ryan Garcia. But as far as money go, that's a sellable fight. So there's some options out there for him. I mean, he could try his hand at Pedraza, to get a feel of 140, Richard Kami, some guys like that, so he can get his feet wet at the 140 division. And then, I wouldn't go to 140 and directly go into a fight with Regis Prograis. That ain't a good idea. That ain't a good idea, because Regis punches very hard, and you can see Ryan Garcia laid out again. But I'm giving you a list of options, which I'm gonna do an actual video about where Ryan Garcia, what direction he could go. So, give him a soft touch at 140. Give him a soft touch or two. And I would try to get Ryan Garcia back in the ring as soon as possible, because it's only April. You still got enough time to get Ryan Garcia back in the ring at least 2 more times this year. So, like I said before, he said he's going up to 140, which means he don't want no rematch, which I didn't think he was going to want none after this. I didn't think he was going to want no more after this fight anyway. So, there you have it. But anyway, it's your boy. Appreciate y'all tapping in. I'm out. That was some good.